We knew it would be bad, right? But the diagnosis for Obamacare is actually getting worse. Right now, a third of the president's health insurance co-ops have failed, leaving 400,000 policyholders scrambling for 2016 coverage. Joining me now, Christopher Bedford, editor-in-chief of the Daily Caller News Foundation. And Christopher, the numbers are stunning. One-third of these co-ops, which, by the way, cost taxpayers $2.4 billion, an eighth in Colorado on death's bed, no pun intended, actually. And these are mostly poor and low-income folks who are getting hit. It's just absolutely amazing. It's unraveling in front of our eyes.
And it's about to get worse. Obamacare launched 2 years ago. The first Obamacare co-op to be killed was strangled in the crib. It was the Vermont one because they had such a bad financial plan. The insurance commissioner said no way. Since then, we've seen 8 collapse. And including 5. 5 have collapsed just in the last 3 weeks. And our reporter who's been on this, Richard Pollack, released today that the administration has a list of 11 more that are on death watch that is secret and won't be shared with Congress, hasn't been shared with the American people. And if those were to collapse, we'd bring that number up to 19 out of 24. That's a 80% rate of Obamacare failing. So,
Chris, in addition to this, we're talking about higher premiums. The Cadillac tax is going to kick in real soon. The sign-ups and renewals aren't where they thought they would be. And even when the plan went into effect, they admitted that there would be something like 35 million people ultimately who wouldn't even have coverage. Where are the positives in this?
I haven't seen any positives, and I don't think the Democrats have seen any real positives either. This has been something they've had to carry around in their back across the bear since they launched it. And that's one thing. Well, people gave a lot of heck to the conservatives who forced a shutdown right before Obamacare was launched 2 years ago. Those guys got every single Democrat, including ones who didn't vote for Obamacare, on the record hammering right before it launched, this is going to work, this is going to work, it's going to work. And then, boom, the website crashed, and that was just the start of the problems, especially for the poor.
Yeah, and there were a lot of Democrats who actually fell on their sword, knew they were going to ruin their political careers, and did it because President Obama promised this would be, Listen, let's face it, we know that the president wanted single payer. What about some conspiracy theorists who are saying that this co-ops failing is actually part of the ultimate plan?
I've heard that, and that's always been kind of a left-wing philosophy ever since the 60s, with, build up the system, overtax the system, wait until it collapses, and then we can build a socialist utopia. And I'm sure that there are a lot of intellectuals and philosophers that think that's a good idea. I don't think that was the White House's plan. I think he wanted to put his legacy not on a collapsing healthcare system, but it's just the way they've tried to regulate a third of the U.S. economy, and the great fatal conceit is thinking that you understand economics and that you really can figure out what the people need in such a complicated system, and they've showed time and time again they're wrong.
I think when it comes to these kind of things, I don't even think it's about economics with them. I think it's all about social justice, and the cost never matters. We heard it in a Democratic debate as well. Christopher, thanks a lot. Great stuff. You guys on top of this like nobody else, and we appreciate it.